You just left that abusive monster. You should be celebrating. So why do you feel so miserable? Why are you so sad? That's called grief. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode, so you're not going to want to miss it.
Welcome to the Victim to Warrior Show.
Warrior Talk. We're John and Melissa, and we're both narcissistic abuse survivors, and our mission is to help other survivors reclaim and rebuild their lives. If you're watching us on YouTube, welcome, but we are streaming on all other platforms, and we've included Mailbag with our podcast, so make sure you stay till the end because your question may be the one we answer.
So you've just gotten out of an abusive relationship. Why do you feel grief?
Well, grieving the loss of anything is an important way to heal. So many people think because the person's still alive, how could you grieve them? What you're grieving is the loss of the person you thought they were. You're grieving the loss of the life and future you were promised and you thought you would have. You're grieving the years that you wasted trying to fix something that was not fixable. And you're grieving the loss of the person that you were before the abuse set in. So all of those things are normal, and it's not something you should feel ashamed of. Don't say, I feel bad about feeling bad about them. It's not them you're feeling bad about. It's the loss that you're suffering, and it's real. Seriously. We even have a client, which a podcast ago, her name's Chris. She actually came on and told her story. And
Very powerful story.
Very, very, very powerful. One of the things John and I remember, because she was our client for a while, and we coached her through leaving safely.
She actually left in the middle of the night in her car with just her clothes.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
She
She had taken critical steps prior to that. So she had already opened up her emergency fund and she had done the preparation work, but it turned into an argument and she felt she had to leave then and there.
Right.
And so we were with her through the entire legal process, all the way to the other end. And we remember calling her the day she got her settlement, which was a very big settlement. She was on the beach. She had a bottle of champagne, and we called to congratulate her and toast her. And she was all smiles. And then she just busted out crying. And she's like, why am I feeling this way? It's grief. And you have to go through those stages in order to heal and come out on the other end where you can recognize red flags, where you're not going to bottle up all this anxiety and keep it down where you can't heal from it. And then you make the same mistakes again. You misjudge relationships. You're insecure. Your self-esteem is shot. It is a process, and some of it's triggering. Some of it's sad. Some of it's heartbreaking. Some of it's going to bring out anger and rage. All of these emotions are normal. But then when you get to the other side, acceptance, happiness, freedom, and a positive outlook on what your future can be because you control it. Honestly,
before we go, I want to talk a little bit about my grieving process.
Oh, gosh.
I mean,
please, yes, because it was different.
It was very, very different. I was very, very angry. In fact, I remember the day after we went through mediation, I called my attorney and cussed him out because I felt like I gave so much away for my freedom. And that's exactly what she wanted. It was extortion, that type of thing, to try to get me to pay her money to make her go away. And unfortunately, that's what I had to do. But I was so mad about it. And the big thing was, too, for me, was the regret. I knew better. And so I had all this regret that I was carrying. That was my grieving process. But I had all this regret. And it took me several years.
What'd you do?
Actually, the thing that helped me get through my grieving process was I joined a men's support group of other men that were going through similar situations. It was almost like a divorce recovery group. We didn't have the type of online groups that we had then. This was 15 years ago. But I was able to get around other people that knew what I was going through and could kind of coach me through And that's why I love that you wrote this book, babe, because let's talk about that just a little bit, because
And this is my proof, so please ignore that.
Yep.
But this is the book. It's called Grieving the Narcissist, Mourning the Love You Thought Was Real.
right.
And it's the painful truth about loving and leaving a narcissist. It has the steps in it that will let you understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. It also lets you know how to take proactive steps to get through that process so you are stronger on the other end, and you basically start loving yourself again. You're basically putting your mental health, your well-being ahead of what has always been in front of it, which is the narcissist. So it's your chance to kind of rid yourself of the toxic and anger, all the thoughts that you held inside, because they don't let you get your feelings out. They don't let you say what's on your mind. They don't listen. And that's why we bottle up everything. And that is the worst thing to do after you get out of the relationship, is to keep it bottled up. Right. So I had to write this book from all the guides and lessons.
Well, you have so many clients that are dealing with that right now.
Yes, because they want to be celebrating and want to be.
They don't understand why they're not celebrating, and just feeling great about it.
Yeah, and it's all part of the healing process and the recovery process. And one of the important things you mentioned about joining a men's group, having a support team around you who understands what you went through. There are so many people, I'm sure you know, that didn't get it. Well, if it's so bad, why don't you leave? Or, wow, you should be glad you left. These comments don't really help. No. But it's difficult to tell somebody, you know what, that's not really helping me. But that's what you're thinking. But surrounding yourself, think about people and write it down. This book will tell you to do this. Write down your safe people. Write down people that actually were there for you. Maybe you didn't listen to them during that abusive relationship, but people that care about you, tried to support you, try to listen to you, comfort you, guide you during the abusive relationship.
Maybe tried to warn you against it before I even started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But those are the people you need to write their names down. And those are the people that you need to actually reach out to, because they're going to listen. They're going to be there when you cry, when you yell, when you rage, and when you're ready to celebrate. Right. So those are the people that you need to have a list, because that's going to be your support group as well. Or you can join our
right. Let's talk about that. If you struggle with this, like you don't want to give your feelings out to other people, or they wouldn't understand,
or you're still worried about whether or not they would understand.
Whether or not they would understand. We have created just an amazing support group on Facebook called the Victim to Warrior Method. Now, it's completely hidden and private. You can't find it on Facebook. You have to have a link. I'm going to put the link in the description for our Facebook group below. That's the only way you can find it, is through that link. And there, when you get to it, you click join, and you'll have a couple of questions that you have to answer, because we are very particular about who we let in. Yeah. Now, once you're in the group, you get 24/7 support.
There's like almost 4,000 people.
That's right. It's all easy from all over the world, and they're people that have gone through exactly what you're going through right now. And so you can post a question, post a comment, and people will jump right on. And it's just an amazing group.
It's so supportive. The community, we absolutely adore our warriors, because they get it. They all get it. And they have been through all different phases. Some are still in it, trying to get out. Others are in legal battles. Others are trying to co-parent. And others have gone to the other side of the healing journey that they've taken, either through our 8-week life transformation or continued coaching calls with myself or John. And they just put out their hand for people that
it's like, I want to give back.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
They know how it feels to be in that dark, deep hole, and they want to pull you out. And that's why people that have gotten to the other side and healed, they don't leave the group. They stay in the group, because they are your support network. Especially if you don't think you have one, this can be your safe haven.
Right.
For sure.
And one other thing too, I want to mention, if you feel like you need hand-holding through this, like you're just like, I had someone yesterday, one of our clients, and she said, I'm just frozen. I can't move. I am just so frozen with grief. I don't know what to do at this point. I've been in this relationship. I was in it for over 20 years. I don't know what to do at this point. I highly recommend the book, but sometimes you need professional help to guide you through this grieving period. And Melissa is phenomenal at that. Not only have we both been through it and are out on the other side living our best life, but we love coaching others on how to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to put Melissa's call link below too. What's a discount code to receive money off your first call with her? And so I want to put that below there too, just in case you feel like I need someone to hold my hand through this. Yeah. She's
many people said we shed many tears with our clients because we know how it feels and we know how heartbreaking it is and we know how isolated you feel, and we don't want you to continue to self-isolate now that you have your freedom or you're getting your freedom back and you're just wanting to understand why you feel like you're in this funk still. It makes perfect sense, and it's something to embrace. It's something to realize this is something that's going to be healthy for me to go through. This is going to make me a stronger, more resilient person on the other side. So definitely embrace the grieving process. And there's no time frame. It's on your time frame.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about your book and the coaching is that you're going to have this grieving period. Let's compress it.
Yeah.
Let's make you get through it quicker.
Not paralyzed.
Right. So you're not frozen, you're not paralyzed, and you can move forward with the rest of your life. I'd be so excited about
the life that you now have full control of.
Right.
So, hey,
let's get the mailbag. How about let's get to our questions? We've got some great questions this week. I had so many questions. Now, if you have questions for us, please send them to questions@thev2w.com. I'm going to put that link below too, so you can just click on that and shoot us an email with a question that we might answer on our next podcast. So let's get to this question first.
Okay.
This is a huge question. I'm in the middle of a divorce now, and my narcissist wants to use the same attorney to save money. Is this a good idea?
Oh my gosh, that is not a good idea. First of all, think about, when has your narcissist ever had your best interest at heart? Never. So do not share an attorney with them. Get your own attorney. Even if you self-file, it's better than actually sharing an attorney with him, because an attorney can only represent one person in the divorce. And if you're going to share an attorney, they're most likely going to want you to share their. So that attorney doesn't have your best interest at heart either. Everything your narcissist is giving that attorney is things that they're going to expect you to sign. That is not a safe place for you to be. Get your own attorney and make sure you get an attorney that understands narcissism.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, if you don't, like I didn't way back then, my divorce drug on for almost 3 years when it should have taken 6 months, and it cost me like 10 times what it should have cost. Right. Because my attorney didn't understand the narcissist maneuvers, tactics, stall mechanism, switching attorneys every other month. He did everything he could to drag it out so he would financially break me. And getting an attorney who understands it is critical.
Yeah, and you had a very high-profile attorney.
Yes.
But even so, he had no clue.
He didn't know what it was dealing.
No, he really, really didn't. So it's very, very important. So how can we make sure that they don't make this mistake?
Well, one, getting the attorney questionnaire that I give my clients, I would be more than happy to provide you with. We can talk about what you're going through, where you are in the stages. I'm also a certified divorce coach, so I can do some preliminary legal work for you as well. And then together we can find an attorney that's right for you. The attorney questionnaire is very, 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 it's very explicit toward narcissism.
And I love the way an attorney can't fake their way through these questions. If they don't know what they're dealing with, they can't answer these questions. And that's something that's important.
Yeah.
Right?
So the answer is no. Do not share an attorney. Absolutely no.
Okay. Next question. I am about to leave my narc. I've taken the 12 critical steps. I've opened up my own bank account. Is it wise to take out half of our joint account?
It actually is. And I've coached so many of my clients through this, because this is the situation. A joint account is joint. It is shared. So even if you're in a community property state, it's 50-50. I wouldn't advise you to take more than 50%, but taking 50% is within your legal rights. And at least you have money in your emergency account in case they cut off all access, you're not penniless. And this has happened to so many.
It happens more times than not.
Well, it does. And by the time I get the client, that's already happened. And they're penniless. They've been cut off of credit cards. They've been locked out of online banking. Think about the horrible things they've done to you. They absolutely will do this once they know you are filing for divorce. So the critical steps, what this person just said, they are preparation steps to let you plan a safe exit strategy. One of them is opening up your own emergency account. By taking just 50% of the joint account, you have given yourself a way to hire an attorney. You've given yourself a way to actually live while you're going through this process. Because once you make it known to them that you are filing for divorce, you serve them with petition, they will get in there and take out all the money. They won't think about, oh, let me just take 50% because I'm really only due half of this because it's a joint account. They don't care about you. They will take all the money and you will have no money. You will literally be desperate enough to possibly not even move forward with your plan.
Or if you've left, you'll have to go back.
Yeah.
And then it's so much worse at that point. So we'd want to make sure you don't. So you know what? I'm so glad you brought up the 12 critical steps to take before leaving Europe.
Very important.
We did a 90-minute presentation where we really lay out all 12 steps. We have a checklist with it, and really, really helps understand how to leave safely and not to have to return. So I'm going to put the link for that below in the description as well.
We go through all 12 critical steps. We explain why and how to do each one of them. So definitely take advantage of that.
Hold up your book one more time, Beds. And this can be found on Amazon. I'm going to put the link for it.
Paperback or Kindle.
And it's so good.
Yeah, it really is. It'll clarify a lot of things that you're feeling, and it also gives you step-by-step process on how to get through that grieving process and become that stronger person on the other end. But if you haven't subscribed to us, I think you do so now. We come up with a new podcast every week. We're always putting out resources to help people who's suffering with narcissistic abuse, because we know how devastating and isolated and alone you can feel while you're going through this. So definitely subscribe, like this video, share it, let people know about it. And any comments you have, put them below, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
I'm so glad you brought that up. If you have any questions about the book, please type in the word grieve in the comments, and I'll be sure to reply to you with information.
So you can see everything that's included in it. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next podcast.